Hi everybody, I'm going to get started right now. Just warming up my bike. So I thought today we could talk about buying a motorcycle. Since obviously in my other video we talked about why you should get a motorcycle, or you know what the choices you have to come up with or make, I should say, in getting one. So now you've actually decided to get one. What do you do? Oh shit, I'm out of gas. Well, first you start off, what kind of bike do you think you like? And do you like cruisers? Do you like standards? Personally, I think standard is the best way to go for your first bike. I actually got a racer for my first bike. That wasn't very smart at all. I kind of felt that was way too advanced, but at the time, it was. I got a really good deal on it, so I went for it. Well, I was a cop. So you have different kinds of bikes. You have standard, you have cruiser. Personally, like I said, I think standard's the best way to go for your first bike. Just because it's so universal. You learn the basics. I would highly advise getting a new bike. I mean a used USED bike over a new bike. Just because you're going to drop it. No doubt about it. And there is a great saying with motorcycle riders that there are the riders who have crashed, and there are riders who have not crashed yet. So take that in mind. It's kind of like the equivalent of when you get your first car. If you remember when you got your first car when you were a kid, it was, 9-10, for most of us, it was either a hand-me-down or a piece of shit. And that's actually a really good reason why it's a hand-me-down or a piece of shit. You know, you bang it up, you ruin the gears, you're hard on the brakes, you're hard on the transmission, all that shit. But you learn the basics of riding a car. You know, you get in your first accident in it, most likely. Same exact thing with a motorcycle. Exact same methodology. You're gonna fucking be rough on it. You're gonna drop it. No doubt about it. In your first 9 months of driving, or 6 months, you're gonna drop it. So why would you get a brand new Harley or a brand new Ninja or whatever and do that to yourself? You're just gonna feel like a dumbass. So definitely go used. Your budget, I'd say between 2 to 4.5. No more than 4.5. You can buy a great bike with kick-ass that lasts you quite a while for $4,000. I mean, yeah, oh, absolutely. And not even that for like $3,000, really. Also, too, make sure you buy in the winter. The winter, it's like convertibles. No one wants a convertible in the winter. Same thing. Yeah, with motorcycles, no one wants to buy. Usually 9 times out of 10, people don't want to buy a motorcycle in the winter. So, people are more apt to make a deal. Hey, help me out. Exactly. What a douche. I fucking waved him and he didn't wave back. Also, too, because you're dealing with an amount under $4,000 or $5,000, have cash. That's exactly what happened when I bought my Ninja. I basically, he wanted to go, he asked 3, or 28, sorry, yes, 28. I talked him down to 2.5, no, 2, I asked for 18, he went down to 2.5, and I just said 2, and he said, hold out your hand. I started counting the cash in front of him. Cash is a huge motivator in terms of making the deal happen. This is something, psychological factor of just seeing the cash, feeling the cash in your hand. It just feels awesome. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to whip out the cash, you know? It's like a stripper, you know? Tells the guys to go there all the time to play games and don't have money, but if you have money and you flash your wallet, you'll get attention, no doubt about it. Okay, so we limit to a standard. We live most likely, you know, and I mean, you get what you want. That's what my advice is. Then, you know, you have between 2 to 3, somewhere around there. Let's see what else. Do not be afraid to walk from the deal. And actually, let's take a step back for a minute. Let's look at where you should buy the bike. So, if you decide you're going to use, because dealers, what sucks about dealers is, yeah, they'll make deals and all that shit, but A, you gotta pay taxes. And if you buy a bike for $3,000, you're gonna pay taxes on $3,000. But if you buy a bike through a private party, it's just a private owner, you guys can pretty much agree to say, hey, you know, maybe I should just, you know, let's just shake hands and say, hey, I paid $800 for it. And 9 times out of 10, people are cool with that. So just keep that in mind, you know. It's like you're not only gonna pay a higher price, but you're gonna pay higher taxes on it, most likely. But the dealer will make sure more or less it's in good shape. I mean, the bike's get checked out. They can't really sell a bike that's shitty because it's gonna come back and get them in the ass, especially if it's a reputable dealer. Because of Yelp and all sorts of social media now, a lot of dealers are really touchy about their reputation online. So they don't want a shit crappy sale to go through. I mean, so they're more apt to really make sure the bike's in good condition. Whereas a private party, it's like buyer beware, you know. You've got to sort of know, and make sure you bring somebody with you, you know, or at least talk it over with a person. What I like to do too is I like to Google the bike itself. Like, what I'll do is I had it narrowed down when I was making a sale recently, or trying to make a sale. I don't think it actually went through. I'm still waiting to hear back if you'll like accept my offer. It's for an 07 Bandit. I was punching. And so he wanted 5. I kind of talked him down to 4, but I wanted 3.7. And it sort of just like called it a day at that, so I don't think it's going to happen. But in case it does, there could be a slight opportunity. And he changes his mind if the other guy doesn't go through. But, you know, it is buyer beware. Another thing, too, is where do you get your estimate for the ranges of the price? Well, our good friend Kelly Blue Book. Kelly Blue Book is awesome at knowing, you know, going low for the trade-in value, going high for the dealer resale value. The first thing you should do when you see a bike you like, check Kelly Blue Book. Find the low and the high. What I usually, my tactic is to go about 3 to 5. If I really like the bike, I'll go as high as 7 above Blue Book, 700. But that's it. That's pushing it. That's like it's the bike I need right now. But typical average is between 3 to 6, 3 to 5 above low Blue Book. And a lot of people think, oh, that's lowballing. But, you know, it's fucking realistic, you know? This isn't fucking a dealer. This is a private party. And this is Craigslist, you know? So, I know people like not Craigslist if, oh, you know, that's crap. You know, people get ripped off. But, you know, it's thinking them bad. More or less, you should be okay. These idiots walking in the middle of the street. It's as dumb as me weaving in and out of traffic. So, that's another thing to keep in mind is going low, 3 to 5 above that. Like I said, no more than 7. Depending on the disparity, a lot of people mid-ball it. Maybe, you know, if they really like to back out $100. I just because of the nature of where I'm buying it, knowing the fact that you're going to have to invest money on it. I've yet to buy anything from Craigslist and have it be in perfect operating condition. So keep that in mind. You know, you're going to have to invest a couple $100. So, you know, either tires or new battery. A lot of times it's the battery. That's probably the first thing you got to replace. You don't know you don't want to be stranded. You don't know how the battery strength. keep clear of that. Another thing too is, do not ever buy, hey, wait, do not ever buy a salvaged motorcycle. Do not ever drive a salvaged motorcycle. And I have to say it 3 times to make sure you guys get this. Do not ever drive a salvage or buy a salvage motorcycle. You don't know what the hell that bike has been in. And for that person to actually claim it as a salvage on their insurance, that's fucking bad. Another thing too is there could be structural frame damage. So, like an idiot, and I just say this because the reason why I'm so vehement about it is, guess what? That happened to me. I fucking had to buy the bike, blah, blah, blah. No one ever talked about the history of the bike. I was a new buyer. I was just an idiot. No one made a vlog about this saying, you know, here's what you look for when you buy a bike. Check the paperwork. Ask right away if it's a salvage, and then stay clear. I've heard different arguments for and against salvage. I'm totally against it. I have a salvage bike. Shit, I'm not gonna make that. I have a salvage bike, and I've had problems with it, and there has been. I could tell there's been frame damage. My mechanic likes the bike. He thinks I'm exaggerating, but you just know. You know, I felt this thing shake at certain speeds, and it's kind of unsafe. But it is a comfortable ride. I did invest some money in it, and I gotta get my money out of it. So that's just my 3 cents on that. Let's see, what else can we talk about? I think I said this already. Unless I have a little bit of dementia. Don't be afraid to walk from the deal. Do not under any, unless you really own a bike, like it's a, this should be the exception. When I bought my salvage bike, I couldn't walk away from it. Literally, I had to buy a bike that weekend, like no ifs, ands, or buts, and it was a low price point. I mean, they got me for $12. I had to put in 3 or 4 into it, so they got me. But I got really good on my Ninja, so I guess it's all relative. I'm gonna run this. Touch it. Fit right in between these 2 guys. Right in between them. CC of the motorcycle. So Ninjas come in. I'd say the most beginner riders get the 250 cc Ninja, which is a great bike. That's an awesome bike. I haven't ride one. I don't think I have. But I mean, they're good bikes, and you can literally buy one for $15,000 to $3,000. Keep it for a year and literally sell it for that exact same amount, just because there's so many entry levels into the market for that particular vehicle or bike. Let's go around this guy. I like Ninjas, but the problem with them is they're kind of disposable. They don't last very long, and you have to keep into account, you're gonna get bored with it. 250 cc is not enough. You're not gonna have any power unless you're a smaller rider. Then it kind of makes sense, because if you're smaller and you don't weigh as much, either a female or a smaller male, then Ninja's perfect, because the weight to cc ratio is quite low. It's not counterproductive. Whereas I weigh like 180. I weigh like 180, and 250 cc's is nothing. That's shit. That's how I start off the line with. Let alone go fast on. I tend to recommend people get for their first bike. Yeah, you can, if you want to go that route. You just want to get a bike, get the experience, just toss it around and maybe keep it. 250 cc is fine, but if you want to keep the bike for a while, definitely go around 4 to 6, no more than 6. My bike was a 636 Ninja, and I think that was a little too much. But 4 to 6 is fine. And then just, another thing that's interesting is, I'll talk about in a later segment, is riding your bike every day. That's a great advice. The best advice I ever got about motorcycle riding is riding your bike every day. Every day. And the last thing you want to be is a weekend warrior, just some noob or squid who just rides it on Saturdays and Sunday mornings, and that's it. You really, your skill should be building and honing itself, and because that's how you get good. You will not get good or proficient in the skill of riding by just riding 4 times a month, 3 times, 2 times a month. Because there have been times when I have almost been in accidents, and I know for a fact I ride every day. There is not one day I do not ride. Unless I'm on vacation, or it just happens the bike sits and I just sit at home on a Saturday and I just take my car out because it's just raining way too hard. But you should ride all the time, good weather or bad. Let's see, but take a step back to talking about buying a used bike. Let's see, what else can we talk about? I think that's really it. Make sure you also have good equipment. Usually I tend to like showy helmets. And if any of you have any questions, you're like, hey, I have a bike question. That guy right there, he just waved. What a nice man. If any of you have any questions, hey, I'm thinking about buying this bike. What do you think? Please let me know. I'll give you my 4 cents on, if it's a good deal or not, or if you pay too much or whatnot. Also, too, Cycle Trader is a good place to buy, but that's a lot of dealers. A lot of firm buyers or firm sellers there. You don't really. There's some deals there, but well, it's not a dealer site, really. Your typical options are usually Craigslist or just a friend. Also, too, my buddy, he tends to go on forums. So there's a Kawasaki forum, and there's like a West region or California region. And if you can even narrow it down to like LA or wherever the hell you're from, that's even better too. I have a buddy who gets parts that way, and it's pretty smart, I have to say. I haven't done that route. Like I said, I've done Craigslist. And like I said, also too on Craigslist, beware of bike flippers. Now these are jackholes who buy the bikes in winter and then sell them in the summer to make a fucking quick buck, which is awesome. That's great, but it just adds to the ownership of the vehicle. And, when you get a bike, you don't want a fucking bike with 4 owners. Well, that just means nonsense. That just means crap. That's what that means. That means problems. The most buyers you should have on it, or that were on the title, is 3. Third owner, that's it. You should be the third owner. Also, too, don't go more than 10 years back in time for a bike. I have an 85, and I'm slowly beginning to have problems with my second bike. This bike here, not the Ninja. It's an 85, and I'm beginning to have problems getting the bike. I'm getting parts for it. So keep in mind with that too. And then let's see what else. I think that's really it. You'd be amazed how many people, and you can always ask, just say, hey, how long have you owned the bike? Why are you selling it? Don't be afraid to ask those questions. If they've had it for 3 months, something's wrong. Something is really wrong. Oh, yeah, I gotta leave, I gotta go, my wife's pregnant, blah, 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 I gotta get cash. Okay, maybe. But just keep an eye out for that. If the sale seems weird, or if the bike miles seem really low, it's kind of a red flag. So just keep that in mind. Buyer beware. Anyways, I am at work. My fuel light's on. That's not good. But anyways, thanks for listening. Hopefully I can add to this and talk a little more. Thanks, guys.